Welcome back, Junior. As you can see, we have done a lot in between episodes, expanded the base a bit. We prepared something in regards to the zombie spawner over there. We'll get into that a bit. And we also did something in the smelter. There are right now 3 separate smelters here for each ore. I put them in at the same time, or separate ores individually, and we'll expand on this so we can sort and auto smelt all the different ores all at the same time without anything kind of mixing together. So we'll work on that a little bit more. And now I have, as you can see, chest over there that has to do with the zombie spawner. We have a chest over here that has to do with our power. And then we also have a chest over here that has to do with linking all these drawers together. So before we get started on all the different project chests that we have, I just want to talk about how things are going and where things are headed. So right now we're at a good place where we've created a base to do our crafting, and we also have a little home up there. And I'll show you the changes we made to our house at the moment in a bit. But as far as where the series is going, what I plan to do is basically going to go through the quest book, and we're basically just going to finish a quest book. And this mod pack doesn't have any bosses or anything like that. So the end game really is just finishing the quest book and then the usual vanilla way of ending Minecraft. And that is defeating the Ender Dragon. Alright. Before we begin, you'll see that I created a white elevator here. And what this does is when we stand on it and we hit jump, we get transported to another elevator. This one's above us, and this transports us inside our new house. Previously, our house was over there where base is. That was the center of our base, or a temporary base. Basically just had walls, wood walls, and a roof, and a tunnel downstairs where our smelter was. With these elevators, this enables us to travel between layers and in between, through blocks without having access to stairs. And so the stairs that we had here previously was sealed up. We don't need it anymore. And I've created an area here using this zombie spawner. And we'll talk about that in a bit. All right. So let's start. Let's go ahead and start with this project chest here. And special thanks to Non-Sanity. He is another Minecraft YouTuber, and he was the one that I got the idea from to use project chests. So the reason why we're going to work on this project chest first is we are limited in our resources, especially redstone. And what I want to do is to kind of build up our stock with that. Now over there is a mob spawner, specifically a zombie spawner. But I was thinking of using this mob spawner and the area around it as a mob farm. And so we have this project chest to help us with that. So now first thing what we're going to do is look at the mob grinding utilities to help us set up our mob spawner. We have these entity conveyors that will move mobs that spawn on the surfaces of these conveyors to a specific location that we want. So we're going to craft the amount that we need for that. There we go. Well, let's go ahead and install those first. So when you put this down, it puts down heading towards the player. So what we want is to set down these conveyors to go to push the mobs to the front and then to the side here. And we're gonna hit F7. This will give us the light overlay and shows us where the spawnable areas are, and want to make sure that I've got those areas lit up so we don't have any other mobs that spawn in a place where we don't want them to. All right, I'm going to cover this up and then we'll move on to another one. All right. Now we're done with that. Let's work on the next thing. Now to kill the mobs, once we push them to a certain location, we want to be able to kill them as if the player is the one that's actually killing them. So that will generate the loot and the experience from the kills. So first things first, we're going to have to craft 2 iron spikes here. And we're also needing to craft 2 swords. Okay, let's craft actually 6 first to make the iron spikes. Okay, we need 2 iron blocks. Go. And 1 more. There we go. Then we need another block of iron. Okay. need 2 more swords. What else are we missing? A block of redstone. And then we're able to make the mob masher. Now this mob masher, we're gonna put it in this corner here. And it needs redstone to activate. So let's see. Could put a lever here. Let's see where we can put this. I think over here. Let's activate that, see if let's turn that on, see if that activates it. Nope. Got it in the wrong area. So let's see here. Maybe one more. Nope. Alright, let's make it easy on ourselves and let's see. Actually has to be right here. There we go. So all that spinning will kill the mobs for us. Turn that off for a minute. Now, we also want to add some enhancements on that mob masher, and the enhancements that we're going to do would be the sharpness, then also the looting. So every kill generates more drops for us, and then sharpness will kill the mobs faster. So we're going to get each enhancement or upgrade, the mob masher takes a maximum of 10, and so we have enough things in our project chest to make 10 of each of the sharpness and 10 of the looting. So we'll start with the looting. We need gold nuggets. Let's do that. It's 10. Perfect. There we go. And then from there, we're going to need 10 of the mob masher. And each sharpness one takes 4 iron swords. So that means 40 swords that we need. Perfect. Sharpness and luck there. Go ahead and turn that on. Now we can't babysit this mob masher, and so what we want is to find some way to collect the drops. So we have what's called an absorption hopper here. We need obsidian, a hopper, and Eyes of Ender, which I think we might be out of Eyes of Ender Pearls. Yes, we are. So let's do this. We built this enough to have to be able to have Endermen spawn in here. So what we'll do is let this run for a bit. And actually, let's cover this up. So I'll grab the materials and I'll bring you right back. All right, I'm going to bring you back for a bit because I want to be able to show you something that you can build to help you with your building. This is called a builder's wand. And what this does is it'll make the building process so much easier. And ignore that one for now. I made an Enderman mad because I wanted his Ender Pearls, and it didn't turn out too well. So with this, I've laid down some slabs, and then I got some slabs in my inventory as well. The wand will help you put that on, depending on the side that you look at. So in this case, it's helping me put the slabs on without having to go through the work as much. And when these conveyors, as long as you're crouching, you are able to walk normally and not get swept up on the conveyors. Go ahead and seal this up. So that room should be pretty clear. Turn this on, and they should be able to be get by the mob masher. Now the reason why, even though it's completely dark over there, reason why we're not seeing a lot of the red X's is because half slabs, especially put on the bottom of a whole block, are not spawnable. Not about a spawnable space, and so mobs won't be able to spawn on those. That's why I put him on top as the ceiling or the roof of this mob farm. Now we have the collector already, and so we need a hopper, which we don't have, but we have a chest here. Go ahead and grab all that. We need some iron, some obsidian, I believe 3, and we also need the blaze rod that we worked so hard to get in the nether. We won't talk about that. Oh. So we can look at the mob masher or mob grinding utilities. We want the collector here. Let's make a hopper, an eye vendor, and a hopper. There we go. So right now, we'll just grab a chest to collect the mob drops. But later on, we'll automate this process. Absorption hopper, we want down to be collected, so we have it collect the items there and place it in our chest here. Let's put it in this direction. There we go for now. Then we'll also make sure that we're in the area here. There we go. That way it's collecting everything within that green border there. So, one thing I'm thinking of is actually moving this absorption hopper here. Because this is, if we don't have this blocked off, it's creating light into our mob farm, and we want to make sure that it's completely dark in there. So we're going to put this here. Absorption hopper here. I'm going to do that again. And then let's show the area. You want to be able to move it inside. Make sure we're covering everything. Then push it back one way more. There we go. Now we're able to get those. Anything that the mobs drop will be placed in there. And that's our mob farm. And we'll do something about those shores later. All right, so that's that project chest done. We'll take this with us. And I'm going to store these cobblestones here. Let's get these away here. Put the iron back. Limestone. All right. Put this back. All right, let's do something that'll make accessing these easier and without having to manually take them from here. Now under storage drawers, we're able to see something called the controller. This thing here, drawer controller. So this connects all the drawers together, and through this interface we're able to connect it to our other networks and also make it easy to access all of these or put things away easier using this controller. So we have all this stuff that we can use to connect these drawers to a controller and also connect the controller to our network, so we're not pulling manually from these drawers. So we're gonna put a crafting station here. For the drawer controller, we need 5 stone, a basic drawer, diamond, and 2 redstone comparators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then redstone comparators, 2 of those. And then we are able to, we're missing a diamond. And by the way, we're really running low on diamonds. We should do something about that soon. Anyway, here's our storage controller, or drawer controller. So what I want to do is, what's in here? A whole lot of blocks. I want to connect it to our network controller pretty easily. So here's what I'll do. Take this chest. We're going to put it here. So now all these drawers are connected via this controller. Now, I don't want things. So let's say if our coal run out, this drawer will become an empty drawer, but I want to keep it as a coal drawer. So we have the keys here that will lock it to make sure that the drawer will stay for the item I designated for. For that, we need gold nugget, gold bars, and this upgrade template. This is easy enough. We just need sticks. There we go. And then we get the key. Now we can go around and lock these individually if we want, but with the drawer controller, as long as they're all touching each other, we can just use the drawer controller to lock everything. And you can see this keyhole here indicates that the drawer is locked. Now these are locked as well, even though they're empty, but we can assign an item to go in here and it will stay that item. All right. There's that. Now we want to be able to connect the drawer into our refined storage. So the way to do that is something called an external storage. Now that will get us into refined storage, that will make it easy, but it's further down the quest book, but we'll work on this on a bit. I also want to make another one for our mop farm, another storage controller. So we'll get into that. We need 6. There we go. Need 2 of these. I don't know if we have enough stone here. Let's see. We have stone. There we go. Then another controller. So now go over here and let's see. Put our drawer here, and let's put our, let's see, our absorption hopper here. And now we're okay, so that's all we have so far. So we'll let it do its own thing, and we'll sort those things out. At the very least, we'll have the whatever whatever the mob drops that gets killed in there will be stored in the drawers over there. Let's get rid of these cobblestones here. Alright. Next thing that we need is, I've noticed that our ingots are creating a lot of space, or eating up a lot of space in our disks. So here, this is almost 4,000 in here. There's only 46 in here, but our space is limited. Even though we have 20,000 spaces here, we don't want to clog up our refined storage with ingots, and we have actually more on the way there. So another thing that we can craft are compacting drawers. Here it is. Reason why we want this is I'll craft one and I'll show you the reason why we want these. Yep. We do need 2 pistons. It's 1, 2. The reason why we want this, and let me see if I can find room for it. Stick it near our smelters here. So, for example, let's take iron. Let's take all the iron. Okay. And let's stick it on this drawer here. So what this compacting drawer does is that it takes the iron ingots that we had, it puts it together, compacts it into blocks. So for the same amount of iron ingots that we have 32 blocks, or we have 2,592 iron nuggets, all from those iron ingots. And so we want one for every single ore that we have. And last I counted, I believe we had 15. So let me make 15 of those compacting drawers, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, so one benefit that we have with the storage controller is that if it's already part of your network or in your drawer network, let's say, instead of going to that one specific thing, you can always just right click on the controller and it will automatically send it to that area. So we have a bronze here, put it there. Electrum, put it there. Aluminum brass, I believe that's ardite. Tin. And let's make sure I'm not duplicating things. So let's right click in there. Still got copper. Shove it in there. There you go. Alright. I'm gonna right click in here. And so these are the ones that don't have drawers left. So aluminum, 1, 2, man steel, actually, we don't need a drawer for that. We don't have a huge amount of quantities of it. Aluminum, we can find cobalt, silver, gold, constant tan, lead, and invar. We can find those anywhere. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. All right. So we've got all those arranged. We just have to make sure we're connecting this to our network so we'll be able to see it all in here. But that's pretty much the end of that storage chest, or that project chest. Yep. And you know what? Let's go ahead and lock that. There we go. All right. You know what? Instead of working on this project chest, I'm going to work on the things that we need to connect this to our storage, and I'll bring you right back. Actually, before I cut you out, let's go ahead and put the modifications on our pickaxe and our hammer. I think I already got the mending moss on my sword. I want to put it on our pickaxe and our hammer so that way we don't have to repair them as much as we can. There we go. All right. So those, whenever we get experience, those will mend themselves and we don't have to worry about fixing them all the time. All right. I'll bring you right back after working on those components. All right, and we're back. I've got all the components needed for this external storage. Here we are. Now what we want to do is connect this to our controller, and to do that, I'm going to dig into the back of this and connect it in the back of this area here. So, alright, so now we first off stick the external storage on there, and then using our cables that we created, we can just stick it on there. Let's check. Okay, so since it's this disk drive is connected to our controller, now we're able to see everything that we have in our drawers. So we can craft them without having to take them individually from each drawer. Now what we can do is we can set a priority to this. So higher the priority, the higher the priority, it will take from there first. And so we want to be able to put it all in there. So I'm going to cover this up, and we'll move on to our next project. That will make it significantly easier to craft using the items in our drawers without clogging up our inventory. There we go. Let's check up on this to see if we're getting any other things. So it looks like we're getting spiders because of the string, cobwebs, and the spider eyes. Looks like we're getting creepers as well for the gunpowder. And the iron, some zombies carry iron, and we're also getting skeletons. And we'll have to find some way to connect this drawer to our refined storage as well, so we're able to use any materials in these drawers in our system. My hope is that we're able to spawn witches in here, and witches, I believe, drop redstone and glowstone. Alright, next project. This here is a project that basically I want to expand our power generating capabilities to not only increase the machines that we use, but also to be able to generate resources as well. So let me work on that, and I'll bring you right back. All right, welcome back. Now I've gone ahead and expanded this area here to kind of help us with power generation. So what I'm thinking about doing is making about 7 more of this or 8 more of this, put them in a little circle, and using this one aqueous accumulator, it will send the water to the 9 of these steam dynamos, and then we'll automatically feed our coal into the dynamos as well, and send the power they generate into, I believe, 8 more of these energy cells as well. So all this stuff here in this drawer is to help us craft all of those. So let me put together, we got the resources already. Let me craft those and then we'll set it up and I'll bring you back. All right, welcome back. We're gonna temporarily just move these things here so we can move them. All right, let's start off with our water. Let's see. All right, let's go this deep. We'll put our water on there. And then we're gonna put our aqueous accumulator in the middle there. And let's see, our fluid duct. And we gotta find a way to export our coal over here. For now, let's manually just feed them the coal. All right, so that's powering our controller here. Let's see if we can create an exporter here to export our coal to all those different dynamos. Need a cable, construction core. We can make that. Improve processor. Let's go ahead and do that. Gonna grab a chest or make a chest. See here, that will export the coal. There we go. See if we have enough of this. Stick the exporter here on the chest, and then we got coal, so we have to tell the exporter what to export. There we go. And then we'll just hook that up to our network. Also, we're short, we need to make more cables. we go. See if this is working. Looks like it's working. Now we got to be able to distribute all that coal to our dynamos. So we got an item duct here. I think we're going to need more than that. So let's go to our quest book. We made the item duct. I believe that's under transportation. We get 32 more. There you go. And we'll just hook it up to our dynamos here. Want to make sure everybody gets one. All right, so now to be able to send it out, I think we have to have servos. See if we got the retriever, and then we got a servo here. Let's make another one. We'll put it here. And what this does is that it extracts items from something. And so we want to put it here, and it will extract, I believe, the coal. There we go. And it's extracting that, and it's distributing it to all of it. Let me see if there you go. It's not the fastest, but it'll do the job. It'll generate us the RF that we need to be able to supply power to our network. All right, so that's all our projects today. Taking care of everything, cleaned up a bit, expanded our area, automated a bunch of things, made a mob farm, which then we're getting Enderman in here. I think a witch is in there. They do also drop sugar, but we want to be able to get rid of these things. We'll find a way to get rid of those things that are not stackable in the next one. All right, so did a lot in this episode. Connected our resources to our refined storage, created a mob farm, and we also created a automated way to generate power. All right, thanks for watching. If you liked it, please hit like, consider subscribing if you want to see more episodes, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.